on Music with your host, Tony Bird.
Hello, it is the Hookup on Music, and it is Wednesday, and it is episode 120, and we are going to have a good time, because you know what? That is what it is all about, is having a good time. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is always great to be here, great to be sharing with you the joy in which music is, so many different things to cover today, stories, a little sadness, a little of this, a little of that. Let's see what we got to get started with. But before we do, just make sure you go on down to the Sadistic Penguin YouTube channel and check out all the other old 119 episodes that we have done. We have talked about so much awesome music. We have had some really cool guests. Go back and check all of that out. I would appreciate it. Appreciate all of your support. It is always cool to talk music, and it's always cool to be supported. I support you. If you at any time would like to talk music, come on to the Hookup on Music. I would definitely love to have you join me and talk about anything that is that you have been rocking out to lately. But let us get started. Right before coming on the air here, ex-guitar player / sometimes singer from the band Mastodon, Brent Hines, called his ex bandmates shit band with horrible humans. That's not what Mastodon said when he left. They said, we wish him the best. Hope everything is well. He said, shit band, horrible humans. Horrible. That's a huge word to be thrown around there. Also, Bruce Springsteen is, Tracks 2 is getting ready to just come to light. It's got 83 previously unreleased songs from 83 to 2018. We've talked about that before. Check that out. If you haven't yet, check out that trailer for the new Bruce Springsteen film. Looks pretty good from everything that I'm kind of seeing. Jeremy Allen White looks like he does a pretty good job in playing good old Bruce Springsteen, which I mean, are you excited? Deliver Me From Nowhere is the name of that one. So please, if you are into cool rock movies, that one looks like it's going to be a doozy. But yeah, that was a little bit of news that has been crossing the threshold. So let's keep rolling through here. We personally here always like some good tunes here, and some good tunes is always what we like. Always what we like is those good tunes. Sorry about that, folks. Had to step a second, but you could see that I was still in the picture, which is always great to be, is always in the picture. But, that's your business. You step away, you got to step away. But let us take a look at what we've been listening to lately. We've been reached out by a lot of different people to check out some music. My man Luke reached out and told me that I need to check out Myron Elkins. Myron Elkins, however you promote or produce or say his name, I think you should definitely check him out, because his vocals are definitely where it's at. New album just came out, Nostalgia for Sale. Definitely really worth checking out. I mean, I can't keep saying check it out. Definitely worth checking out. Is Myron Elkins. Digging in a little bit more, I liked his name of his one album, Factories, Farms, and Amphetamines from 2023. Quite the title there. But Nostalgia for Sale, June 17th is when that was released. So, and when I mean just released, I mean it was just released. Red Ball kicks that off. That's a cool little track. Digging in, you got that self-titled track, Nostalgia for Sale, going for 2. You just like some of that good old strumming, some good old vocals. he's got it for you. So check out Nostalgia for Sale. That's some good stuff there. Also good stuff is definitely interesting in a lot of different ways. But I love being shared new music, and these other guys are sharing with me, man. They're heavy. Mugshot is their name, and the album's called All the Devils Are Here. Well, welcome, all the devils. But this album cover is really cool. It's really heavy. As described by Andrew, who is always sharing the heavy here on the show, makes him run headfirst into a brick wall, which I kind of say I like that. I like after a long day, running headfirst right into a brick wall. But definitely some really good stuff on this one. Our love of heavy music seems to be getting more and more by the week. That's why we always throw a little bit of heavy in here mixed with everything else that's going on. But we got a lot of good music here. Okay, so this All the Devils Are Here. Die in Fear is that kickoff track. For a Waking Nightmare, a Shame, Veil of Tears. So much awesomeness that is definitely woven through the album. You go through this thing, it's 25 minutes long, 12 songs. Next to Your Idols is the final track. Check out that heaviness and let me know what you think. And also, we like that new music here, so go ahead and let's talk a little bit more. You ever listen to Lord? Okay, well, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But this new cover that she's got on her new album that's coming out is definitely interesting in a lot of different ways. But the new album is going to be called Virgin. A lot of good tracks so far. If you are a fan of her music, Hammer, What Was That? Man of the Year. These is what's been released so far. When is the album coming out? Oh, it's coming out Friday. It's coming out. The name of the album is Virgin. Check it out. Can't wait to hear what that's going to sound like. Like to throw in a lot of different mixtures here. But if you have also looking for something a little bit cool, a little bit different, a little bit covery, definitely check out the Easy Band. Been digging these guys a lot lately. Got a lot of real cool cover songs. A lot of cool covers. Everything from My Chemical Romance and Blink-182 to some real cool wrestling tracks that they've been onto and into and moving and working and doing all of that good stuff. So definitely if that's not in your wheelhouse, then go back to some of the other stuff I mentioned, because one of those are going to be in your wheelhouse. If this is Easy Band isn't in your wheelhouse, you're looking for a little bit of some good cover, something different. That's what the Easy Band brings to the covers, and that's what we like. They bring a little Latin flavor to what they are covering. I like when they slow it down. That's some of my favorite grooves is when the grooves get slowed down and you could just like bob your head and it's like you're weaving. Definitely cool though. So check out the Easy Band. But now, like recently, a lot of cool artists are just unfortunately falling to the wayside, and by falling to the wayside, sadly passing away. And we don't like when the people we love and enjoy and listen to and rock out to, like the great Mick Ralphs. You may say, who is Mick Ralphs? He was a founding member of the rock bands Mott, the Hoople, and Bad Company. To be a founding member in two of pretty important bands in the 70s is pretty cool. I got to see Mick Ralphs twice, so I could speak from his live prowess, which was rocking and a rolling with a Bad Company. It was always really good and always really cool. Where was he born? Stoke Lacey, Herefordshire, England. Okay. Passing away at the age of 81, sadly. 2016, he had a stroke and hadn't been able to play live, which is always a shame when you're an amazing musician, is that you just can't dig into what has made you great and is what has made you awesome, and won't allow you to continue to do those great things. But Mick Ralphs definitely was a part of a lot of cool things. He was a part of the breakthrough with Mott the Hoople, All the Young Dudes, which was produced by David Bowie. But what an album, All the Young Dudes. Okay, All the Young Dudes. Okay, I'm not singing that song. But again, Mott the Hoople does a great job in it. You might not even know that the guitar player from that track went on to Bad Company. But anyone with the name Mick, you gotta just say they're got a little bit of coolness to it. Bowie produced the song. Kind of crazy that Mott the Hoople rejected Suffragette City in favor of All the Young Dudes. I'm glad Bowie did Suffragette City. That's just such a good, awesome, rocking track. But the thing about it is that Mott the Hoople is always the Hoople. So we love them, and we also love Bad Company. So it sucks when people pass away. It really does. But that being said, he always, which I thought was very interesting when doing research, that he always tuned his guitar to the open C tuning. He said it did not sound right in standard tuning. It needs the open C to have that ring. The debut album reached #1 in the United States. So Bad Company's debut album, when he joins those other awesome guys in that band, Paul Rodgers, Simon Kirke, and Boz Burrell, definitely just put his mark on it with those guitar licks. So many awesome guitar licks in those bands. He also toured in 1984 with David Gilmour of Pink Floyd. You can't tell me that you're not an awesome guitar player if you're touring with, artists like David Gilmour. But that being said, it's just sad. It's sad. So you may be asking yourself, where should I dig into if I really want to, really want to get into this? You know what I mean? If I really want to, what are some of his excellent songwriting credits? Ready for Love, Moving On, Good Lovin' Gone Bad. He wrote Feel Like Making Love with Paul Rodgers. You ever hear the song Flying Hour by George Harrison from '79? He wrote the song George Harrison did with Mick Ralphs. Unfamiliar that Mick dug it up with a Beatle, but that's what Mick was. Mick was awesome, and we honor him. Drink to you, Mick. Water slug to you. But again, one thing I'm going to leave here with is that it's sad that they are getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and he just wasn't, he wasn't able to go up on stage and be a part of it because of the sad passing. So that's why we always say that honor those when they are here, honor them when they are gone. Don't ever forget them, because you know what? When push comes to shove, you can't just say that Milk Ralph's Mick wasn't awesome. Also, not very awesome is just what I was reading here about a certain band that's been kind of going around a little bit. There was what was I going to say? They would like this band, which I'm not 100% familiar with, Asking Alexandria. Some fans want the band to step down after a pathetic performance. What you call pathetic performance? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know much about Pathetic Performance by Alexandria, but asking a singer to step down, it's kind of crazy to think about. He, I mean, he uses a lot of backing tracks, which seems to be another ear that has grown in the music industry these days. You cannot use any backing tracks. That just would not be fair. But if you got a word on any of this, please, would love for you to share it in the comments. Very interesting stuff there. And again, we've been talking about this on past shows. This drummer situation in the Who. Fires Zach Starkey, brings Zach Starkey back, fired him again. Called a bunch of loons, a bunch of madmen is what Zach Starkey called Daltrey and Townsend. By the way, they run things. Interesting to say the least. I mean, because when you think about it, you think at this point you could kind of get together the ship. But the Who always had some issues, in that department. Issues getting things in the right order in which they should be delivered. But that being said, the Who are the Who. So who are you? Who to get rid of Ringo Starr's son, who Ringo Starr did not seem very calling, called Roger Daltrey a little man. Well, you, Roger Daltrey, are a little man. Very interesting stuff right there. But again, that is the Who. In other crazy kind of news, when you really kind of put it together and think about it, Bonnaroo just came through, and after about a day and a half, had to shut it all down because of storms and flooding and this and that. So a lot of people were upset, missed a lot of cool artists. Saturday was a wipeout. Sunday was a wipeout. People planned to get down there and party and have a good time. And guess what? They were not allowed to finish up what they started. No Van Halen here. Finish what you started, if you caught that. But kind of crazy because it kind of put the festival in limbo to the point where now festival organization and organizers and organizationers, that was a bunch of words I made up right there, are having to refund all the cash to everyone. Full refund. It started out with being like 80, 75%. Then they said, we're going to give you all your money back. Why not? Here's all of it back. Just to make good on this deal that was available. I mean, if you, but you know what? That's fair of the game when you go to these outdoor concerts. It's always kind of what kind of stinks. It's like, is it going to be hot? Going to be cold? I mean, middle of Tennessee. So organizers have put out a pamphlet. Emailed it out to the fans and said, would you come to Bonnaroo still? If we move some dates around, move anything around, would you please come? And they were like, well, we'll have to get back to you on that. So we'll have to see what Bonnaroo is. I would say make it a little bit more in the fall. Okay, I don't know why you're having it in the dead heat of summer. I mean, maybe way back when it was a little warm, but it's getting hotter out there, folks. Skin could fall out if it's so, well, no, skin's gonna fall, but it's hot. So curious to see if Bonnaroo will continue after this year. What I'm always down to talk about is some Alice in Chains dirt. Yes. Recently, I saw somebody post something ridiculous. They said, if you like grunge and you mention Nirvana at all in any grunge, you like grunge. What's with the gatekeeping? What's with this tell people who they like and what they don't like? But that being said, you know what? Alice in Chains, dirt, it's a little bit more than any kind of title. I personally don't like titles. That's why we talk about so many different musics here. Because nobody can say, oh, you're a metal show. No, we like a little bit of everything. But going into dirt, which is just loaded with lots of awesomeness. And when did it come out? September 29th, 1992. Wow. It's been a little bit of time since there. Slayer even makes a little bit of a vocal contribution, but it's dirt. You know what I mean? Like, where do you go from dirt? You know what I mean? What do you do with dirt? So Tonight we're going to talk about something specific with Dirt. Very specific. We're going to talk about lead off track Them Bones. Definitely is a song that honestly has been pumping me up lately, and because it's quick, it's to the point, it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds, quite like a punk song. Alice in Chains digging into the chromatic riff is played in 7/8, which is definitely kind of cool, but the chorus is in 4/4. Cantrell has said about the song, he doesn't know where it came from. But what I do know is when you listen to it, it's heavier than most stuff that was coming out at that time. And Alice in Chains always was really good with the humor. Get any opportunity, go back and at the very least check out when Alice in Chains was on Headbangers Ball. Humor, jokes, goofing around, you know what I mean? But that being said, Them Bones lets them dig into it a little bit more. They were always part of this magazine called Rip Magazine. If you have not ever owned or read or looked at a Rip, it was just loaded with lots of cool, awesome stuff. But Cantrell says Them Bones is trying to put people into a position where they could be like, whoa, I'm a little freaked out by that. And they like to use it well in that category. Thinking about mortality, thinking about that all you're going to end up one day is a bunch of bones is definitely deep in a lot of different ways. And one of them being in a way that makes Alice in Chains rock. So Them Bones is definitely an amazing little track that I think is just really cool. And honestly, we like Alice in Chains so much that we just decided, you know what, let's just make them our artist of the week. But speaking of others and things and stuff that's been kind of crossing our minds lately, and it's songs with people's names in the title. You say to yourself, well, is my name not in a song? My name should be in a song. Not everyone's name could be in a song. You know what I mean? If it's kind of crazy how these kind of work. If your name is Shamalama Ding Dong, well, there might not be a song called Shamalama Ding Dong, or there just might be. You just don't know. But there's just so much to just so much to great songs with people's names in the titles. But what are some that come off of your top of your head when you start going? One of them's got to be Roxanne by the Police. Jolene by Dolly Parton. That's always a good one. Maggie May, Mr. Rod Stewart. Sweet Caroline was at a wedding this past weekend, and Sweet Caroline was played. It always played a little too soon, but still played Benny and the Jets. Cecilia, breaking my heart. But Daniel by Elton John, Clint Eastwood by the Gorillaz, Jack and Diane. Rest in peace. My wife's aunt just passed away. Diane was her name, and ironically, her husband's name was Jack. Always thought it was really cool to have a song like that and have a relationship between two people who was, met under the guise of not knowing that a song would one day be created after them. Lola, amazing. Angie. No, that was Bad Stones right there. But there's just a lot, you know what I mean? Get together with some friends. You know what I mean? I always saw this. I thought this was kind of cool. You could go and you can, there's online, you can create your own bingo cards. Okay. Come on, Eileen. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Sweet Jane. Michelle by the Stones. Janie's Got a Gun. That one always sounded like it was a little more serious than it intended to be. Help Me, Rhonda. Last week we talked about the sad passing of Brian Wilson. Sarah, that is a really good Fleetwood Mac track. So you got Rihanna by Fleetwood Macs. You got Peggy Sue by the great Buddy Holly. Lay Down Sally by Eric Clapton. Earlier today, I was listening to an interview with John C. Reilly where he stated that My Aim Is True by Elvis Costello is one of his favorite albums of all time, or his favorite because he could play it the whole thing through, never gets old. Allison is on that. Annie Get Your Gun is great track. Really, really, really good track by Squeeze. But it's really cool too. You go on any of streaming services and you can just start going down the list of songs that have people's names in the title. I mean, Lumineers got one with Angela. There is a lot of good stuff though. I mean, what you got to do is you got to dig deep. Okay. Kendrick Lamar's got Wesley's Theory. Okay. Eazy-E got Easy Does It, his own name and the own track. Miss Jackson, Mary Jane by Rick James. You got Maria Maria by Santana. That one is an interesting little ditty. It's so much, so many. Abigail by Merciful Fate. You're looking for something a little bit more heavy. Bradley was one that I just listened to recently by Cold Chamber. Always stuff. Tyrone by Erykah Badu. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Proud Mary by Tina Turner or Creedence. It depends on where you're going or where you're looking at. Beth by Kiss. Lucille by Little Richard. My Cherry Amour by Stevie Wonder. Whatever it is and wherever it is that you are or what you are listening to, I definitely suggest that you reach out to us and let us know what your favorite track is with somebody's name in the title. I'm sure we're going to talk about this again. It just has been something that's been crossing my mind quite a lot. And you know what? Why not talk a little bit more? This is kind of like a jam session, Sometimes we bring a little bit topics back. Sometimes we cover some stuff that we've missed. Sometimes we got this, we got that. We got new music. We got new this. We got news, a little of this, a little of that. And let's just end a little bit with some concerts. Queens of Stone Age just rolled on through the amazing Huntington Bank Pavilion out at Northerly Island, and they played quite the hell of a set. They played If I Had a Tail, they played Go With the Flow, they played all of the good stuff. But when you get back the next morning and you open up your paper and you see that they're going to be coming to town at the Chicago Theater, celebrating the Catacombs, which is a new release that is very, 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 very interesting to listen to. But October 2nd, they're coming to the Chicago Theater to break down some of their greatest tunes in a lot of different ways, which will be a lot different than what you just saw recently. So it's not the same exact set that is coming through. It's going to be new sets, new vibes, new this, new that. If you have not checked out some of their news, their Catacomb set, it's some good, interesting stuff. I watched the trailer for that concert movie that's coming out. So when that definitely comes out, you're going to want to check that out and let me know what you think of it, because that's what we do here. We like to share what we love. If you were out at that Queens of the Stone Age show, let us know what you think of that. But this is some good stuff here on this Catacombs. Looking for something a little laid back, some cool chamber music. Josh definitely does a great job in so many different ways. So dig into that, and if you happen to go to that show at the Chicago Theater on October 2nd, let us know. Maybe we'll see you there. You just never know these days. As just stated, songs by people that you have somebody's name in it. Come On Eileen, one of the most famous ones, Dexy's Midnight Runners. But wow, these shows that we do, they just come so quickly, they end. And then we come back next week, which we're going to definitely come back next week. But until we do come back next week, go, like I said, to the Sadistic Penguin Studios YouTube channel. Check out all the cool stuff that's coming out there. They have the show. Check out It's Getting Drafty. Go to our sadisticpenguinstudios.com webpage. There are some really cool articles out on awesome movies, cool in-depth stuff by some of our writers like Cotton and Adam, and Yumper just put out a cool video on Young Guns. So check it all out, because you don't want to be shot down in a blaze of glory like John Bon Jovi sings on that Young Guns 2 soundtrack. So please keep tuning in, and we appreciate you always joining in, because when you join in with me here, I want to be honest with you, it's number one, it's a great time. Number two, we talk a lot of cool music, and number three, you just don't know what's ever going to come. And so what you do know is next Wednesday we will be back. We're going to try to keep it to the Wednesdays, and we'll see how that works. And until that time comes, my name is Tony B. This is the Hookup on Music. Go back and check out some of those new releases that we talked about. Check out everything. It's never too late to listen to Them Bones by Alice in Chains 100 times in a row. But until next time, we do love that you come down here and listen to music with us and talk music. So thank you so much. Have a good time. Have a great week. Stay cool out there, and we will definitely be talking soon. Have a good night, everyone, or day. My name's Tony, and this is the Hookup on Music. Signing off, episode 120.
Thank you for listening. Please look out for the audio version wherever you jam.